Good everyone, this is Whiskey America 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Welcome back to the channel. You guys know the drill. Weekly net nighttime. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on the notification bell, and share this video. Subscribe to all my other channels, and let's get started. Gonna make sure that I have everything set up right. Make sure it's right in center. And yeah, so we'll wait for it to start. And now my mouse off currently.
Yep. W3ON operating as W3OC. Net control over the Tours Amateur Radio Club net. The radio net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. on the 146.73 MHz. WA3 PBD repeater, the Gateway FM Association. Membership in the Tubers ARC is not required to check into the net as all radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Tubers ARC, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Greenock, PA, zip code 15047. P.O. Box 225, Greenock, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the internet, World Wide Web at www.trarc.net. www.trarc.net. Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month, except August, December, starting at 7 p.m. We're open as net for check-ins and emergency or priority traffic at this time. Does anyone have listings of signed keys in a radio amateurs who recently passed away? Not heard. Alright. Please, I'm going to take check-ins here in a moment. When you check into the net, give your call sign, your call sign slowly and phonetically. And phonetically means spell out your call sign. And Dave, give me announcements or comments for the net. Alrighty, now I'm looking for the officers of the Tubers ARC who wish to check into the Tubers net. W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Bob Elizabeth Township. Evening, Chuck. Evening to the net, no traffic. W3OC. Please copy Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform Whiskey Charlie, Stephen Boston. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone else on the net. No other comments. W3OC. Please recognize November 3, Juliet, Hotel Bravo, Jim and McKeesport. Good evening to everyone on the net. I do have a message, Chuck. W3OC. W3OC, please copy Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Fox. Steve, handheld portable in Pitcairn, coming up the hill here. Okay, Roger, I got Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, Kilo Bravo 3 Uniform Whiskey Charlie, November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo with an announcement, and Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Foxtrot. Anybody, any other members of the Two Rivers ARC Board of Directors wishing to check in? Okay, alrighty, thank you. Alright, let's see. Are there any stations offering mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County who wish to check into the Two Rivers net? W3OC. Here's Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Dan out here in Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening, Cinnamon. 3OC. Portable up here in Knoxville.
Wait.
W3OC.
Okay. Hold it away next.
Whiskey Alpha 3 Bravo Oscar Juliet. Ted Portable in Squirrel Hill. Good evening to you, Chuck. Good evening to the net. No traffic.
W3OC. W3OC. This is Whiskey America 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Antonio down here in Pittsburgh. Good evening, Chuck, and those on the net, and I have no comments.
No traffic.
Oh, Christ.
W3OC.
Come on, it's gonna be my turn. Okay. Well, that was a fail.
Whiskey Uniform 3 Uniform Portable. Kurt and Elizabeth. No traffic.
W3OC. W3OC. This is Whiskey America 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Antonio down here in Pittsburgh. Good evening, Chuck, and those on the net, and I have no comments.
W3OC.
Okay. Okay.
Please
Copy. Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu, John Eastport. And second evening, Chuck, that's control, and the net itself. No further, no text. Thank you. Whiskey 3 Oscar Charlie. Please copy November 3 Lima, Quebec Charlie. It's Bill in Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck and everyone on the net. No other comments. W3OC. Please recognize November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform N3 TAU Norm, Westmoreland County in Penn Portable tonight, Chuck. Okay, that time I got a bunch. Thank you. I got Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, November 3 Zulu Charlie Hotel Portable. Whiskey America 3 Bravo Oscar Japan Portable. Kilo Charlie 3 Alpha Sugar November. Whiskey Uniform 3 Uniform Portable. Whiskey America 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu. November 3 Lima Quebec Charlie. November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform Portable. Anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? W3OC, WA3PBD, name here is Andy, West Mifflin on the portable. W3OC, this is N8PPP, Dave in Greenford. Good evening, 8:06 p.m. Thank you. I got WA3 Papa Bravo Delta Portable, November 8 Papa Papa Papa. Thank you. Anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? W3OC. This is Kilo Bravo 3, Lima November Charlie in the mobile. Ring here, giving everybody no traffic. Okay, Kilo Bravo 3, Lima November Charlie mobile. Okay. Now we'll open for general check-in. Anyone else has a check-in I can do so, please call me. W3OC. This is November 3, Papa Sue Uniform. Checking the software, Blue checking everyone on that. W306. This is Whiskey 3. Zero Bravo 3, Yankee Indian November, Whiskey T-Sport. No further comments. Please recognize Whiskey 3, Delta Tango Papa. Dolphin Cloudy, good evening, Chuck. On the net, no traffic. Net control, Kilo 3, Delta Papa Papa, portable. No traffic. W3OC. Please copy Kilo Alpha 3 Tango Fox Bravo. AA3 TFB, Bill and Warrendale, over. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 India Romeo Golf. This is Ed McKeesport. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net. No comments. W3OC. Here is Kilo 3 Hotel India Romeo, Earl and Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. No comments. W3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim and Carnegie. W3OC. Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Mike, KC3FGM, that's Bob in Elwood City. No traffic. W3OC. This is W3 Sierra, Yankee Radio. Bob and White Oak, good evening, Chuck, and good evening to all on the net. No comments. W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3, November Foxtrot, Mike South Township. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening, everyone on the net. No traffic. W3OC. Here's Kilo Charlie 3, Radio November, Kevin in Brighton Heights.
No traffic. Good evening, everybody.
Net control, recognize. Kilo 3, Charlie, Romeo, Oscar, John, Baldwin. No comments, no traffic. W3OC. This is KA3 KEV, Denny of Plumboro. Good evening, Chuck.
Okay, I got a bunch that time. Thank you all. Let's see, this is Whiskey 3 Oscar Charlie, Net Control for the Two Rivers Net. Let's see, November 3 Papa Sierra Uniform, Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee to November, Whiskey 3 Delta Tango Papa, Kilo 3 Delta Papa Papa Portable, Kilo Alpha 3 Tango Fox Bravo, Kilo Charlie 3 India Radio Golf, Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa, Kilo Charlie 3 Fox Golf Mexico, Whiskey 3 Sierra Yankee Radio, Kilo Charlie 3 November Fox, Kilo Charlie 3 Radio November, and Kilo 3 Charlie Radio Oscar, and Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Echo Victor. Anybody else wishing to check in, please call them up.
Whiskey 30 Charlie, please recognize Whiskey 3 Sierra. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening, everyone on the net. No further comments. W3OC, WA3TFS, German Brentwood, no comment. W3OC, this is Kilo Alpha 3, Uniform Tango Delta, Terry and Erwin, no traffic. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, we got Whiskey 3 Sugar, and a Whiskey America 3 Tango Fox Sugar. Kilo Alpha 3 Uniform Tango Delta. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you all. Thank you all for taking the time to check in with us this evening. It's a rather cool evening outside. I guess it's going to get a little bit cooler through the night. I hope everybody stays bubbled up and warm, that's for sure. Okay, let me get through some of the stuff we have here. First of all, we have a announcement for November 3, Juliet Hotel Bravo. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chuck. I wanted to announce that the two repeaters owned and operated by the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club are now linked to each other to provide cross-band coverage. The 147.12 output, which is 147.72 input, is now linked with the UHF repeater on 442.250, and the input of that is 447.250. Both repeaters require 131.8 tone to get into them. The bidirectional link is on continuously. If anybody needs to utilize that or makes life a little bit easier, you're welcome to go ahead and use it. The 147.12 repeater is still experiencing a little bit of difficulty, but we hope to have that corrected here fairly soon. That's all I have from this end. Back to you, Chuck. This is N3JHD.
Okay, thank you, Jim. I appreciate the information. Okay, anybody have any questions for Jim about his announcement? Alrighty. Okay, I do have some general announcements regarding Two Rivers activities. The Two Rivers ARC has its Ham to Next breakfast. They'll tell on the second Saturday of every month at Cornerstone Diner. That's located at 620 Long Run Road in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Those are interested, those are know the area. It's located at the entrance to the Olympic Shopping Center from PA Route 48. That should be coming up this Saturday. So hopefully many can get a chance to stop out there and meet the group out there. Also Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. the Two Rivers ARC is operating its GapNet. It's an informal gathering on frequency 146.55 megahertz simplex, and the FM, of course, narrowband FM. Maybe you can make it out there for that. Keep on your calendar the date April 18th. That's the date for the Two Rivers ARC Amfest over at the Palisades in McKeesport. More information on that is to be announced. Okay, that's club activity stuff. I hope to have next week the announcement for the meeting location will be. We're scheduled for third Tuesday. Okay.
regarding Two Rivers activities. Looking at a calendar I've kind of made up here. Let's see. This week, February the 8th through the 13th on the HF band is an ARRL school roundup. Hopefully, many of you work if you're on the HF band, you hear strange voices in there or something like that. Give the students a chance and give them a call if you work on a small contest. It's not actually a small contest; it's worldwide, and get a chance to make contact with them. See, also coming up on the 13th, that's this Saturday. Yeah, Saturday is Teacher Worldwide Radio Teletype Workball Prefix Contest. That's also on the HF band. Also on Saturday, starting at 7 p.m. in the evening, is the Breeze Shooters Ground Wave Contest. The first of 3 contests that they run that the Breeze Shooters operate on the 10-meter band. This particular one will be the CW mode. The hours are 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So get a chance to look for the operators down there, make some contacts. Also schedule dates for other Breeze Shooters Ground Wave contests for March 6th for the voice contest and March 13th for the digital. Let's see, exams. Let's see, what do I have here? Also March 13th, North Hills Group's got an exam session in Glenshaw, PA. I don't have any more information other than that. You get the information for these exams up on the ARRL's website. Also, the Skyview Radio Society, they have an exam session on the 20th at their clubhouse. It is usually in the morning, I believe. So, that's in New Kensington, PA. Okay, that's kind of what I got. Anybody need any repeats for anything they've heard so far before we switch over to Newsline? Okay, I'm not sure what's all on Newsline tonight. There's something up there about the space station and kind of equipment failure they had, I think. Like a ham radio equipment failure, not the space station itself. But let's see what they got to say. That'd be interesting.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2258 with a release date of Friday, February 5th, 2021 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is the QST. In Canada, a microwave solution for MCOM needs. Restoration begins on wartime code machines and the space station contact that wasn't. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2258 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Charleston, West Virginia, here is Jim Dameron, NATNW. January 28th was supposed to be a day to remember for students in Newcastle, Wyoming. They had an on-air date with the International Space Station. It never happened due to technical troubles, however, making it a day to remember for the crew and the ARIS program. Paul Brown, WD9GCO, explains.
The students at Newcastle High School in Wyoming waited for their chance for a radio contact with the ISS. Jan ON7UX, the telebridge station in Belgium, called as ON4ISS as the spacecraft came up on his horizon, but only noise came back. Several minutes passed as Jan kept trying. Still nothing. Science teacher Jim Stitt, KI7URL, had helped prep the students on radio protocol in anticipation of their questions to Mike Hopkins, KF5LJG. Ultimately, however, that contact never happened. ARIS Executive Director Frank Bauer, KA3HDO, said in a press release later that a technical problem had apparently taken the ISS radio out of service. He said that additional troubleshooting was needed, but possibilities point to trouble with the new external RF cable recently installed or related to the interior coax cable. The press release said that NASA has opened a payload anomaly report for the issue. In the meantime, ARIS has asked Sergei Semburov, who heads the Russian team, whether the Russians' radio can be used for school contacts until the problem can be resolved. The Wyoming students have been told that their contact will be rescheduled. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
The SpaceX launch late last month set records for the number of satellites aboard, but hams are especially interested in one, as Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us.
When a record number of small satellites left Earth aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket on Sunday, January the 24th, France's UV-SQ-SAT satellite carrying an FM amateur radio transponder was amongst them. The satellite is focusing on broadband measurements of Earth radiation budgeted on solar spectral irradiance in the Hertzberg continuum. Amateur radio operators are being encouraged to contact the satellite also. To this end, AMSAT Parkophone is providing hams with software to receive, interpret and upload telemetry to the AMSAT F server or the SatNox database. The software runs on both Linux and Windows platforms. Designed by Latmos, the satellite has had its frequencies coordinated by the IARU. The Saint-Quentin en Yvelines Radio Club F6 KRK was also involved in the project. It was among the 143 satellites carried on the SpaceX's first dedicated small-sat rideshare program mission, which broke the previous record of 104 simultaneous launches aboard an Indian Polar Satellite launch vehicle in 2017. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Let's face it, no one likes clutter, not in the shack and certainly not out in space, where CubeSats and other amateur radio satellites keep us connected. Well, help with the cleanup has arrived. Neil Rapp, WB9BPG, has the tale.
It's called the iodine thruster, and it hates space junk so much that it's helping prevent it using an unconventional non-toxic propellant, iodine. The electronic thruster is being used to control a satellite's height above the Earth. That means that when a satellite reaches the end of its mission, it can be sent down into the atmosphere where it can safely burn up rather than add more dead clutter to the skies. The device has already proven its worth. It successfully changed the orbit of a commercial research nanosat that was launched last November. Iodine is seen as an ideal propellant to use for this technology because it's solid at room temperature and pressure, becoming gas when it's heated without having to liquefy first. It only takes up a small space on board the satellite. This technology isn't just for dead and dying satellites, however. Experts speculate it can help small CubeSats extend their mission lifetimes before dying because the thruster can raise the satellite's orbits if they start to drift back toward Earth. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9BPG.
The Australian Communications and Media Authority has some new proposals that hams are watching. Robert Broomhead, VK3DN, tells us what's involved.
A call has been put out for enthusiastic recruits to serve the Royal Australian Air Force. No, not for military duty, but to become airborne nonetheless via the radio as part of one of two special event stations marking the 100th anniversary of the RAAF. Hams will be using the call signs VI100AF and VK100AF from the 1st of March to the 29th of March for 100 days. The Air Force's actual birthday is March the 31st. On that day in 1921, the RAAF became an independent service from the Army. It's the world's second oldest air force. In its roots are with the Australian Flying Corps, which sent troops during World War I to serve in the Middle East and European theatres. Activations can be done at the home QTH, at a club or even a park or SOTA location. There are plans to operate 4 Air Force bases as well. Time for Aussie hands to register is short. Organisers are hoping to release the roster for both call signs sometime around the 5th of February. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Robert Broomhead, VK3DN.
If restoring old boat anchors or even making ancient straight keys usable is a challenge that appeals to you, consider this monumental task being undertaken in Germany right now. Ed Durant, 85LB, tells us about it.
It looks like the restoration expert
found in the Baltic Sea off the northeast coast of Germany in December last year, another 6 units have been found. Unfortunately, many of this find had been made unusable before they were thrown into the sea from German warships at the end of the Second World War. The machines, which resemble old typewriters, have inner workings that include 3 interchangeable rotors used to scramble messages. These messages were then sent using Morse code to another ship or land station that had another Enigma machine to decode the message. Restored Enigma machines have been shown and operation demonstrated both at Friedrichshafen and Dayton Hampus. For Amateur Radio Newsline, Ahmed Durant, DD5LP.
Amateur radio operators in India are being credited with helping make an important contact in Australia, but the communication here has nothing to do with DXing. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, tells us what happened.
A man who has been found wandering disoriented on the streets of Kolkata, India, several weeks ago has been identified as an Australian citizen with the help of local amateur radio operators. According to a report in the Times of India, the 69-year-old man, who is of Indian origin, is from Sydney, Australia. He's been in one of the local state-run hospitals since he was found. The West Bengal Amateur Radio Club intervened at the request of local health department officials who wanted the man's family located and knew the club has a long track record of helping reunite families. And Barishnak Biswas, Victor Uniform 2 Juliet Foxtrot Alpha Club Secretary, said although they were still missing some details, paperwork found in the man's possession indicated he was residing in Sydney but had formerly owned property in India. The newspaper report said the man speaks English but appears to have some kind of mental disorder. The Australian Deputy High Commissioner's Office in Kolkata told the newspaper that efforts are underway to contact his family members. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the K3ALG repeater in Palmerton, Pennsylvania, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. local time.
W3OC.
For One Hand Club in Canada, emergency response doesn't just consist of HTs, repeaters, and HF radios. Radio operators there are hoping they can soon assist local responders by getting their microwave network in the game. Christian Kudnick, K0STH, has that story.
The Kamloops Amateur Radio Club, which already provides emergency support on the ground throughout its region in British Columbia, sees even more potential in their mountaintop-to-mountaintop broadband network. They're offering to open its use to the TNRD, the regional governing body, in the hopes that the microwave link's internet connectivity and large data bandwidth can provide an additional resource for local emergency operation centers in the case of wildfires or other calamities. Club President Miles, VE7FSR, said the idea of providing the TNRD, or Thompson-Nicola Regional District, with a higher level of assistance was inspired by a 2017 wildfire in the region. He and some friends in the British Columbia Wireless Amateur Radio Network recalled how the blaze had hampered the Emergency Operations Center's abilities to communicate vital information. Miles told Newsline that for the region's various municipalities to utilize the club's high-speed microwave system, they need to first establish that they have line of sight with the mountaintops, and then install dishes there to connect with the EOCs below. Miles said this sort of operation has come of age. EOCs, he said, are more dependent than ever on internet access because the data bandwidth is so much greater there than on VHF, UHF, and especially HF. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Christian Kudnick, K0STH.
Weather Field Day was a little bit different this year for some hams in Georgia. Kevin Trotman, N5PRE, tells us how they spent it.
The Macon, Georgia shopping mall, known as the Shops at River Crossing, became part of a winter field day activity, and even the mall security department got in on the action. Hams were using the occasion to demonstrate analog and digital HF operations, as well as UHF, VHF, and D-Star. According to David Johnson, KF4ALH, Emergency Coordinator for Macon Viv Aries, this field day activity is more about scoring big
education and public relations instead of points in a contest. Hams from Macon-Bibb County Aries were joined by the Macon-Bibb County EMA Volunteer Group, Macon Amateur Radio Club, the Monroe County Aries Group, and the Monroe County Amateur Radio Society. The hams gave science lessons and history lessons along with a basic look on how amateur radio works and the role it plays when hurricanes sweep through. David said a few visitors seemed interested in learning more and doing more. He added, quote, "Even if one new person gets the amateur radio bug from our event, I consider that a bonus." For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Kevin Trotman, N5 PRE.
A special event is celebrating 100 years since the creation of the Royal Australian Air Force. Robert Broomhead has that story.
A call has been put out for enthusiastic recruits to serve the Royal Australian Air Force. No, not for military duty, but to become airborne nonetheless via the radio as part of one of two special event stations marking the 100th anniversary of the RAAF. Hams will be using the call signs VI-100AF and VK-100AF from the 1st of March to the 29th of March for 100 days. The Air Force's actual birthday is March the 31st. On that day in 1921, the RAAF became an independent service from the Army. It's the world's second oldest air force, and its roots are with the Australian Flying Corps, which sent troops during World War I to serve in the Middle East and European theatres. Activations can be done at the home QTH, at a club, or even a park or SOTA location. There are plans to operate 4 Air Force bases as well. Time for Aussie Hams to register is short. Organisers are hoping to release the roster for both call signs sometime around the 5th of February. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Robert Broomhead, VK3DN.
Word from Ofcom in the UK has clarified some long-standing confusion over licensing responsibilities in the British and Arctic Territory region. Hams seeking new VP8 licenses to operate in the Antarctic and South Georgia have learned they will only be able to use those licenses on the Falkland Islands. On the other hand, hams with existing VP8 calls may use them temporarily in the British Atlantic Territories, South Sandwich, and South Georgia, as well as in the Falklands, until the licensing responsibilities are better defined. Ofcom noted that the British Atlantic Territory, South Georgia, and South Sandwich Islands cannot issue their own licenses or assign call signs. Ofcom left the option open for those locales to ask the Falkland Islands to administer licensing and call signs on their behalf, as had been the case up until early 2020. In the world of DX, listen for the members of the Kuwait Amateur Radio Society operating as 9K60NLD throughout the month of February. This is a special event celebrating Kuwait's 60th National Day, which is February 25th, and Liberation Day, which is February 26th. QSL via 9K2RA. In Mozambique, Bruno CS7AMN will be using the call sign C91BVA from Maputo starting February 18th. Be listening on 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters, where he will be using single sideband and the digital modes. QSL via LOTW by the Bureau via CS7AMN, Club Log, or EQSL. In Germany, members of the local branch Kirben G29 have begun operating with the special event call sign DC220GERKE and will remain on the air through April 31st. They're celebrating the 220th birthday of Friedrich Clemens Goethe, who revised the Morse code telegraphy system into the standardized form we know today as the International Morse Code. QSL via DJ6SI, direct or by the Bureau. Finally, if you've got an appetite for a good story, our final report this week is about some high-flying hunger in space that led the hams on board to engage in a bit of dietary diplomacy. Mike Askins, KE5CXP, serves this one to us.
Whoever said hams love a good meal so much they're unwilling to share their food may have eaten their way through more than a few ham fests, but they haven't been on board the International Space Station. Astronauts and cosmonauts not only appreciate one another's space-friendly cuisine, but are required by NASA to do pre-flight sampling of the international goodies for the sake of their in-flight stomachs. So when the 2 U.S. astronauts heard their Russian colleagues learned they would have a 2 their next shipment of food, meal sharing was the only solution. Kate Rubens, KG5, FYJ, Victor Glover, KI5BKC, Mike Hopkins, KF5LJG, and Shannon Walker, KD5DXB, stepped up to the plate, so to speak. Sergei Ryzhikov, one of the two cosmonauts, reported that the 13 containers of the Americans' food were even provided free of charge. That should be sufficient for the two cosmonauts until February 15th. According to a report from the Russian state-owned news site RIA Novosti, that's when the next shipment is scheduled. With the ISS traveling at speeds of up to 17,100 miles an hour, you might even consider this to be fast food. Very fast food. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Mike Askin, KD5CXP. Mike, do you get fries with that? With thanks to the ACMA, airforce.gov.au, Amateur News Weekly, AMSAT, ARIS, the ARRL, Central Coast Amateur Radio Club, CQ Magazine, David Bayer, K7DB, David Johnson, KF4ALH, Batmos, Live Science, BHYS.org, Miles Bruns, VE7SFR, NASA, Ohio PennDX Newsletter, OpenFossils.com, QRZ.com, Southgate Amateur Radio News, ShortwaveRadio.de, Space.com, Ted Randall's QSO Radio Show, RIA Novosti, Spaceflight Now, The Times of India, The Wireless Institute of Australia, WTWW Shortwave, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. Please send emails to our address at newsline@arnewsline.org. More information is available at Amateur Radio Newsline's only official website at arnewsline.org. For now, with Karen E. Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Jim Dameron, N8PMW in Charleston, West Virginia, saying 73. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2021, all rights reserved.
Good evening, 8:37 p.m.
Hey, it's W3OC Net Control for the Two Rivers Net. That concludes this week's Newsline transmission. Okay, I don't have any more announcements at the moment or anything like that, so at this time we'll take some late check-in. Anyone else like to check in as industrial, please call now. Okay. I just did a quick count. Thank you all. I count 34. Thank you all for did check in this evening or listen to us in alternate means. Please don't forget our Wednesday night cabinet at 8 p.m. over on the 146.55 megahertz simplex frequencies. Okay. With that, we're going to turn and repeat it back to general amateur use. And those of your Degree Shooters members or interested in Degree Shooters, they start up at 9 o'clock over on 28.4 AM megahertz on 10 meters. Okay, and with that, we're going to turn and repeat it back to general use. Everybody have a good week. Try to stay warm. It's W3OC, also known as W3ON. Good night.
W3OC. Late check-in. KC3 IRF. Kilo Charlie 3 India Romeo Foxtrot Bob on the portable in Overbrook.
Okay, I got your KC3 IRF. Thanks.
W3OC, you copy KB3 KBH?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let me take in for me, please, check. Sorry about that.
Okay, KC3 IRF and KB3 KBH. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll throw it in there. November 3 Bravo Juliet Alpha.
Okay, and 3BJA. Anybody else? All right. Thank you. That makes 37. Okay, everybody have a good week. Thank you all for checking in or just listening to us on alternate things, and hopefully everybody have a good week and try to stay warm. That's for sure. We're supposed to get some pretty cool weather, I guess, here over the next couple of days. Better than minus 29, I heard, or they have in Minnesota. Aye. W3OC open the W3 and closing the 2%.
Alright guys, that's it for tonight. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to my other channels, and that'll be it. 73rd from Whiskey America 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie. Peace.